Top Gun, the Tom Cruise hit from more than 35 years ago, now has a sequel. In the original movie, a young Cruise plays the hotshot pilot Pete Maverick Mitchell as he competes in the Navy's elite school for top fighter pilots with his co-pilot Goose, Anthony Edwards. Maverick enjoys pushing himself to the edge until it gets him into trouble and shatters his confidence in a horrific catastrophe. But the happy ending wins as he ends up with the girl and saves the day. Seems like the scriptwriters for Top Gun have a knack for happy endings because the sequel had a similar fairy tale, only that this time it seemed really forced and completely unrealistic. Maverick should have died. Find it hard to believe? Don't worry, we did too, but in this video we'll show you why we think Top Gun was wrong and prove it using undeniable logic and reasoning. Let's get right into it. The Dark Star was spotted in the first scene of Top Gun 2. Now, when made-up technology appears in a film, you can be sure that we are dealing with little more than special effects and copious amounts of CGI. For Dark Star, the film's creators went right to Lockheed Martin, the manufacturer of numerous incredible aircraft, or, more specifically, the company's Skunk Works division. Although Dark Star may not exist, its powers do. The scene reveals that the pilot, Maverick, is still seeking thrills and his preoccupation with speed is his downfall, or rather, almost downfall. The Dark Star was made with hypersonic technology, which is simply the ability to travel at 3,853 miles per hour or faster. The goal is to use speed as a discriminator to defend and protect a country and its allies. Flying a plane like this is no joke, and that's why Maverick was given the job of flying this experimental jet to reach Mach 10.
Come on! Mach 10!
Impressive. He just broke a world record and achieved something that was thought impossible.
Put that in your Pentagon budget.
At this point, the wise decision would have been for Maverick to return, but once he gets there, he cannot help but push past it. Maverick is clearly still the same reckless thrill seeker he was in Top Gun. Despite having 35 more years of experience, his infamous need for speed is still very much intact.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Just
Unfortunately for everyone, Maverick was pretty determined.
a little push.
Don't do it, Maverick. Don't.
Holy shit.
Suddenly, everyone became tense. If you watched this movie in the theaters, the entire room was probably silent at this point, and the minds and hearts of the cinema crowd would have been racing. Mental wheels were spinning with questions.
Maverick.
And that was the end, or at least, it should have been the end, but it wasn't, and that's where things got ridiculous. How do we even explain that the plane disintegrated, but his body didn't? His body should have been ripped apart into tiny pieces and scattered around like fertilizer across 4 states at the very least. Sorry for the gory description, but this scene is so annoying for aviation enthusiasts with more than 2 brain cells. Maverick should have died. Whenever this subject is brought up in conversation, people always come up with different excuses to explain how Maverick survived. For clarity, we'll review these excuses one by one and see if they hold any water. We'll start with the common but equally lame, he escaped with a parachute, nonsense. First off, let's get this straight. Maverick wasn't flying a regular airplane, he was flying a supersonic Dark Star aircraft. Even if you're not much of a gearhead, a badass name like Dark Star should give you a general idea of what we're dealing with. We agree that his plane was a super machine, but there is no way he would have been able to survive with a parachute. He was traveling at half orbital speed, so ridiculously fast you can't even imagine what it would feel like. Parachutes would be utterly useless at speeds like that. You're more likely to get strangled by the parachute than saved by it. Acceleration, deceleration, and G-forces are the main reasons humans have trouble withstanding such high speeds. The average adult can only withstand about 4 to 6 Gs of acceleration. However, this ability can only be attained after extensive training. Real fighter pilots, on the other hand, can handle a whopping 9 Gs for a short period of time. Although most humans can withstand up to 6 Gs, spending an extended period of time at such speed will be lethal. Even experienced pilots get injured ejecting at cruising speeds. 10.3 Mach is 7,900 miles per hour. There is just no way that a parachute would have been able to save him. Saying otherwise is just ridiculous. Another popular argument is that he survived by ejection. This is more realistic than the idea of parachutes, we'll give him that, but we doubt that any conventional ejection system could handle Mach 10. The fastest speed at which anyone has ejected is Mach 1, a far cry from Mach 10. We don't need to be rocket scientists with a 200 IQ to know that ejecting from a jet going at 10 times the speed of sound would lead to an instant incineration, since we already know that even Mach 2 can damage the legs and ankles. Hitting an airstream at Mach 10 would be much worse than hitting concrete at 300 miles an hour. Mind you, Maverick's plane was accelerating, not slowing down. He even had a full pressure suit in case of depressurization during high altitude flight, which is just as lethal as ejecting at Mach 10. What about ejection pods? They could work, but these pods must be specially designed to withstand Mach 7 speed to even stand a chance at surviving. Also, to add more clarity, Mach 1 is 767 miles per hour, Mach 3 is 2,300 miles per hour, and Mach 10 is 7,762 miles per hour. Ejecting at that speed, your body would be subjected to enormous forces. The pressure can easily damage the eyeballs and possibly lead to the disintegration of the body, just like it did to the plane. In addition to leaving Maverick with a few superficial wounds and a damaged ego, ejecting at Mach 10 would have annihilated him. So at least the damaged ego and wounds wouldn't even be a problem. In truth, no manned aircraft has ever had a pilot eject at speed faster than Mach 2.5 and survive to tell the tale. The relative weight and density of the outer air would instantly kill the pilot. Let's also not forget how thin the atmosphere is at 80,000 feet. The low air density is very crucial. Consider how friction in the extremely thin environment would cause even a highly efficient aerodynamic aircraft to glow red hot. Anything exposed to it would nearly immediately vaporize or become atomized. The Top Gun 2 production team may not have been able to provide an explanation, which is why they chose not to show us how he survived. It was a lazy way to win the audience and get a happy ending out of nowhere. To avoid killing off a title character early in a movie, Hollywood has once again violated the laws of physics. Some fans even suggested that Maverick passed away after this moment and that the remainder of the picture was all a dream. People will go to any length to defend something they like, and these ridiculous theories prove that. The only reason why Maverick survived the hit was that it was a movie, and his character had to live. Regardless, the sequel has made everyone happy that Tom Cruise decided against joining the MCU to portray a different Tony Stark in the most recent Doctor Strange film, because giving us the typical summer blockbuster we've been waiting for was a better decision. Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell, the legendary pilot, returns in the eagerly awaited sequel. Returning to the Top Gun school for one more mission, Mav will have to put all his flying knowledge to the test as he instructs a fresh batch of Top Gun students. If you want to see something with a rare blend of action, good music, and a satisfying conclusion, Top Gun is your answer. The movie has also enjoyed a sizable online fan base, which was highly well received after its debut. The film has earned its spot among the top dogs thanks to raving reviews and a legendary box office performance. It is now one of the top grossing films of all time, with a total box office revenue at the time of creating this video of $662,486,308, closely competing with movies like Avatar and Black Panther, a distinction that only a few films can flex about. Yet, it's no surprise that the movie has earned that much considering the amount of attention that was paid to even the tiniest details of this movie, from the script to the cast down to the aircraft. Did you know the script from this movie has produced many quotes that are trending on social media? Most films don't even produce one viral dialogue. This one has many. Subscribe to Get Around How for more cool videos like this. Now, check out these videos. You'll love them.